let me introduce to you all with our esteemed panelist, Honorable Justice B. Gopala Gowda sir, former Judge Supreme Court of India, did his BSc and later LLB from SJRLC Bangalore, started his independent practice in 1979 at Bangalore in the High Court, in labor courts, industrial tribunals, civil courts, and criminal courts, and handled constitutional matters. He was also part-time assistant professor at Law College, Bangalore, worked as standing counsel for Bangalore Mahanagarpalika, later elevated as additional judge of Karnataka High Court and also a standing counsel for Karnataka Public Service Commission, Bangalore. Was also a member of Karnataka Bar Council and chairman of Enrollment Committee till elevation as additional judge to Karnataka High Court and later became a permanent judge. He was also a member of National Legal Service Authority, New Delhi, and later sworn in as the Chief Justice of Odisha High Court, Cuttack in 2010. And furthermore, later appointed as the Judge of Supreme Court in 2012. We are highly pleased, sir. We welcome you to our university, and I'll invite you to say a few words to the gathering.
Sir, please unmute yourself.
Resource persons and panelists, court managers across the country. At the outset, I must congratulate the university for having sponsored this program and conducting this program. Very, very important program in relation to the court management and court administration for speedy justice. It's a good project you have undertaken. This program facilitates the Indian judiciary for speedy justice, which is the very relevant and pertinent in the present context in the Indian judiciary to render justice to the people across the country. Court managers are very much essential for look after the court management. In 13th Finance Commission, when I was the Chief Justice in Odisha High Court, I was given 5,000 crores by the Law Department. In that context, I appointed number of court managers, inviting applications from the good persons from different parts of the country. I entrusted the matter for selection to the National Judicial Academy, the then director Mohan Gopal. They were selected and appointed. My experience as a judge of the High Court, Chief Justice of Odisha High Court, and judge functioned in the Supreme Court, I am of the view it is the constitutional mandate to man the Indian judiciary, particularly the district judiciary. A country like ours, the rural part of India, 135 population, more than 4 crores, including the litigation pending in the Supreme Court. Forget about the Supreme Court and the High Court. Even for the High Court, I am of the view, the skilled, efficient court managers are very much required, is my humble opinion. This has been reflected in the requisition civil number 1022 of 89. Long back this requisition is filed. In interlocutor application 279 of 2010, there was an interim order on 4/4/2011. Of course, this is in relation to Maharashtra, Uttaranchal, and Gujarat. While dealing with the projects which were asked to be implemented, the infrastructural facilities to the district judiciary and the judiciary as a whole in the aforesaid state. The directions were given in the year 2011. Those directions were not complied with. Ultimately, this matter was listed before the Supreme Court, and another interim order is passed by the Supreme Court on August 2nd, 2018 by 3-judge bench, the then Chief Justice Deepak Mishra and 2 other brother judges. In this regard, paragraph 9, page 14 of the judgment, that order is not a judgment, it's an order. There is a reference to the court managers. It is a mandate, not only to these 3 states, mandatory direction to all the states for appointment. If they are not appointed, they have not been regularized. The direction is the direction of the Supreme Court of 3-judge bench. It should be complied with. That is the direction. If it is not complied with, I am of the view for flouting this order, contempt petition can be filed in the Supreme Court. If you want me to dwell in detail insofar as this aspect is concerned, at this stage, I will deal with that. In this regard, at this stage, this is my tentative views on the court managers, appointment of court managers, regularizing court managers, and wherever the judgments, requisitions are there, I think in view of the mandatory direction issued by 3-judge bench in Supreme Court, the pending requisitions either in Bombay High Court or any other court in the country, I am not aware. Just now I came to know that requisition is filed. This is what lawyer Talekeri has said. Requisition is pending. That requisition can be speedily disposed of in the not in the interest of the court managers, in the interest of the Indian judiciary, district judiciary particularly, even the constitutional courts, according to me, having 19.5 years experience as the judge from the High Court, Chief Justice and Supreme Court, I am of the strong view, firm opinion that the states and the Union of India must ensure to the public litigant of this country judicial review, determination of the rights of the parties in the civil court is a basic structure of the Constitution of India. It has been said in Bommai's case. I hope and trust a webinar like this will throw light on the appropriate governments to act upon it, including the constitutional courts where writ petitions are pending, to give effect to the interim orders passed by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. This is my tentative view at this stage. If you want me to deal in detail, I am prepared to do it. Let the resource persons give their views. I will make my the statement after the resource persons conclude their the submissions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your precious words. Now I will hand over the platform for moderator Kalpesh Gupta, sir. Sir, over to you.
Thank you very much, Sonalika. Now we'll be starting with our panel discussion. So everybody is aware about the topic of the panel discussion is the past, present, and the future. So I have thought of and a request for the panelists to throw some light on the past and the present about the court management and the court managers. And the second round will be discussing the way forward, what can be done in the future. So I may request Gopala sir to throw some light on the past and present regarding the court management and the court management aspect. Over to you. Then I will go to Roshan ma'am and then subsequent other panelists. Yes, Justice Gopala sir, can you throw some light on the past and present of the court management and the court managers? And then we'll go
you are asking me?
Yes, sir. And then we'll go to Roshan ma'am.
Yes. After we became independent India, a written constitution, the preamble of the constitution envisages that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India to a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all citizens justice, social, economic, and political. This is the constitutional mandate which has been declared by the Supreme Court right from Keshavananda Bharati way back in 1973, renders socio-economic and political justice to the people of this country is the basic structure of the Constitution of India, which cannot be amended by the Parliament. That is the law. Now, the important limb of the Constitution is the judiciary, independent, strong judiciary. Judiciary is part, the legal fraternity is part of the Indian judiciary. Article 39A is by way of an amendment to the Constitution under Part 4, the directive principles of state policy clearly mandates that the 39A, equal justice and free legal aid. This aspect of the matter, I am of the firm view. When I was the chairman of the Legal Service Authority of Karnataka State Legal Service Authority and National Legal Service Authority member, I was of the view that the Article 39A is the social justice phase of the Indian judiciary. Number of cases, High Courts and Supreme Court, including the district judiciary, has been dealing with this article day in and day out in so far as to get justice to the common man, particularly to the laborers. The women constitute 50%, rendering legal aid, apart from creating legal awareness, to see that they get justice either from the hands of the executive or from the judiciary. Now, this aspect of the matter, Article 39A is concerned, it has been dealt with by the Supreme Court in Brijmohan Lal versus Union of India, reported in 2012, 6 SCC, page 502. While dealing with the infrastructural needs, appointment of court manager, in my view, is an infrastructure, it is existing infrastructure. It is infrastructure to the existing infrastructure already existing. In this context, the Supreme Court, three-judge bench, which I just now referred to, has referred to the judgment in the context of infrastructural needs. They have said Article 21 of the Constitution of India, which is a fundamental right guaranteed to the citizens of this country, takes in its sweep the right to expeditious and fair trial. This is what has been said way back in 1979, Khatun's case. Even Article 39 capital A, just now I mentioned, Article 39A capital A is by way of an amendment which has come into force with effect from 3rd January 77, has been examined in this case. They have said even Article 39A of the Constitution recognizes the right of citizens to equal justice and free legal aid. To put it simply, it is the constitutional duty of the government to provide the citizens of the country with such judicial infrastructure. This is the mandate of the Supreme Court. The judicial infrastructure and means of access to justice so that every person is able to receive an expeditious, inexpensive, and fair trial. The plea of financial limitations or constraints can hardly be justified as a valid excuse to avoid performance of the constitutional duty of the government. Supreme Court has understood in this case long back in 2012, 9 years back. So Brijmohan Lal case has laid down the law that provide infrastructure is the constitutional duty of the government. Then more particularly when such rights are accepted as basic and fundamental to the human rights of the citizens. So Human Rights Act, according to me, the Supreme Court judgment, the fundamental rights guaranteed to the citizens and non-citizens. Fundamental rights both for the citizens and non-citizens. There are certain articles which I don't want to deal with this here. Both for the non-citizens and citizens. Particularly 21, life includes livelihood. Article 19, the freedom of speech and expression, etc., etc. They are all basic and fundamental to the human rights of the citizens. Part 3 and Part 4, the Directive Principle of State Policy, both constitute the human rights. That's what the Supreme Court in any number of cases has been said. So therefore, after Brijmohan Lal case, nothing remains to be determined in the revision or by the Supreme Court in view of August 2nd, 2018 order. Only the aspect which is required to be complied with by the appropriate government, insofar as the district judiciary and the high courts are concerned, it is the state government, and of course the special courts are concerned, which are established under various statute enactments like family courts, commercial courts, labor courts, etc., etc. These are all the courts which have been established. Not labor courts will come under the jurisdiction of the state government for adjudication of the disputes between the workman and the employer, and employer and employer, and workman and workman. So therefore, the special courts are concerned, the respective share and the local courts, CBI courts, enforcement directorate courts, so on, so forth cases, the courts have been established. The Union of India is required to share their financial the contribution for the administration of justice to the people of the country. So therefore, Article 39A, Surya Prakash was telling that access to justice. Access to justice is recognized. It is interpreted in view of Article 39A, the social justice pays to the Indian judiciary, as I have already told you. Now, therefore, the aspect which has been dealt with by the Supreme Court, and in the All India Judges Association case, once again, which is reported in 2010-14 SCC page 705, the Supreme Court has, in unequivocal terms, has said, I read the law laid down in the relevant paragraph, what is said in the All India Judges Association case. It is said, I read, I quote, justice delivery system is the bedrock of the rule of law. Rule of law is also the basic structure of the Constitution, which is held to be the basic structure of the Constitution. And it is our view that in the absence of adequate judicial infrastructure, again, 11 years back, Supreme Court has laid down the law that which is held to be the basic structure of the Constitution. It is our view that in the absence of adequate judicial infrastructure, particularly for the subordinate courts, it would not be possible to sustain rule of law in this country. I can expand this. There are lakhs, crores of cases pending in the district judiciary, particularly the magistrate courts, chief judicial magistrates, chief metropolitan magistrate courts, and in the district judges, sessions cases. Number of cases for decades are pending in this. That is because infrastructure, judicial infrastructure The judicial infrastructure is not the building alone. It is not the judges. The population judge ratio is also not there. But how to, as rightly my sister Justice Roshan Dalvi, she was monitoring because she functioned in the district judiciary. She was in charge of 3 court managers. She must have noticed how the court managers have been rendering assistance to the judges because they are qualified as the qualification prescribed to apply is the Master of Business Administration. Master of Business Administration is the highly skilled persons. They know how to generate the file, how to maintain the file, which courts the cases to be allotted, which judge is specialized, family matters, property matters, criminal matters, classification of the criminal cases, cognizable offences, non-cognizable offences, the immoral traffic acts. These are all the study which they must have. They will study that in which court, which matters are going on. Statistics will be collected, a review will be made. It will be apprised to the district judge in the district courts, the CJM in the rural courts of magistrates, and CMM in the urban area, metropolitan urban area, to see that how many cases are pending more than the sentence required to undergo as in the judicial custody by the persons. So therefore, the infrastructure includes the court manager, court appointment of court managers. They may not have the qualification of law that is not required for the management of the courts for allocation of cases and see that speedy justice is rendered. They can effectively render assistance because all the district judges and judges are overloaded. They are working for more than 12 hours in the court, 8 hours. The homework, unless they do homework, they will not be in a position to render insofar as the district judiciary is concerned. Insofar as the High Court and Supreme Court judges are concerned, if they don't work more than 16 hours, they will not be rendering justice to the people. Despite they are discharging 12 to 16 hours, both in the district judiciary, in the constitutional courts, the pendency is mounting because proportionate judge ratio, judge appointment, as has been done in the foreign countries, is not taking place in this country. Often the political executives and the people are blaming the delay is because of the lawyers and the judges, which may be partly correct, but more than 90% it is not the correct position factually. If you appoint the population judge ratio on the basis of inflow of cases in the district judiciary, the nature of cases, region-wise, state-wide, the pendency of the cases and inflow of cases, and having regard to the family dispute, having regard to the consumer dispute, having regard to the number of criminal cases in the corruption cases, having regard to the number of disputes in the population in the urban area and semi-urban area, having regard to the real estate has gone up, and crime rate has been tremendously increasing because the unemployment problem and the youth are millions of people are unemployed and they have to leave. For that purpose, they indulge in antisocial activities. They have been instigated by the gangsters, both in the cities and in the rural area. Real estate and land grabbers engage these people, and ultimately the percentage less than 2-3% of offenders are against them, cases are filed, and they are languishing in the jails because they are unable to get their cases adjudicated expeditiously, as has been held by Supreme Court in the year 1979, long back, more than 4 decades. That has not been happening because we are not systematically functioning. The judicial reform is a must now. Judicial reformation is urgently required. If you don't give attention to judicial reforms, the judicial reform is one of the judicial reforms to provide infrastructure, to provide the court managers, appointment of court managers who are qualified, MBA, who has got vast experience of business administration. The court is also business administration. The case management, court management. Court management is concerned, Judicial Academy will teach state judicial academies and national judicial academies. Insofar as the allotment of cases, study of the cases, which are classifying the cases, which are all the non-cognizable offense, cognizable offense, how many years the cases are pending, what are the reasons the cases are pending, all these cases can be classified, and this work can be done by the court managers. So therefore, in Orissa, after the court managers were appointed, in the administrative side, the civil judge senior division, he was put as the registrar. In every court, in city civil courts, the registrar who is the civil judge senior division. The deputy registrar or assistant registrar is in the cadre of the civil judge junior division. So 2 persons are required to man. But in spite of this, they are unable to cope up with the work because the business administration skills they have not acquired. Judicial knowledge is different. Business administration is different. This, as a Chief Justice, I have got the vast experience. Every judge will not have an administrative skill. Every judge may be good in judicial side. He may be good in recording evidence. He may be good in appreciating evidence. He may be good in court management. After getting the inputs from the judicial academies, both the state and the National Judicial Academy, they may be good in discharging and adjudication of the rights on the basis of the record, and that will enable assistance of the lawyers. But the court management is the job of the judges and the judges, exclusive judges, to mitigate, to cut down the lengthy argument, cut down the lengthy cross-examination, which is not prepared by the lawyers, cross-examining without knowing what are the issues, without knowing what are the charges, what is the evidence which has been adduced. All these things is the domain of a judge. They may be good, but that is the court management. Insofar as the case management is concerned, this can be effectively done, in my view, is my experience. 2 years, 9 months, more than 1.5 years, I was reviewing the work of the court managers in Orissa State. I am 100% sure the court manager must be the part of the infrastructure. For that purpose, the state government must give top priority and attention to facilitate the Indian judiciary to be independent judiciary, to go strong and deliver justice and speedy justice, which is part of Article 21 of the Constitution of India. In that way, we will be complying with the constitutional mandate. We will be complying with the directions which have been given time and again by the Apex Court. So the judgment of the Supreme Court in Brij Mohan Lal case and All India Judges Association case are the binding precedents on everybody. If they don't implement these orders, in my considered view, I think time has come. You must file the contempt petition against the state government for non-compliance of the court orders, Apex Court order, for taking steps to appoint the court managers. The paragraph 9 in this order, Supreme Court has clearly stated professionally qualified for the administration, business administration, to do the business of the court. Business, not in that context, we should not misconstrue that word. The business administration, the master of business administration, they must have been taught in the master degree what should be your approach, how to do the business of an institution. It is an institution. So the Supreme Court has categorically said professionally qualified court managers, preferably with the MBA degree. This is the qualification which we had prescribed when they were initially appointed, must also be appointed to render assistance in performing the court administration. The mandate is must also be appointed. These are the phrases which are used in this order. That means it is mandatory on the part of the state government. So professionally qualified court manager required to be appointed. If they have already appointed in pursuant to the 13th Finance Commission, finance assistance rendered to each high court for appointment of the court managers for effective court management, in my considered view, it is a high time for the state governments to see that wherever the court managers are not appointed, steps shall be taken for appointing them. They will be the part of the reformation of the Indian judiciary. They will be part of the infrastructural facilities which are required to be provided for the speedy justice, both in the magistrate courts, in the sessions court, and in the district and sessions court, the civil appeals and other miscellaneous matters. Even in the high court, my view is the super time grade persons are appointed as the registrars. They must be dispensed with. The potential district judges, the registrar general, judicial registrar, registrar administration, vigilance registrar, and the recruitment registrar, computer science committee registrar. There are 7 in each high court. 7 potential district judges are being manning this administration. They can also be substituted by appointing highly qualified professionals with the guidance of 1 district judge to these court managers. They must have a periodical discussion, panel discussion. They must always evaluate the pendency of the work, reasons for pendency, why these cases are not being disposed of, for what reasons. Is it a lack of judges, a lack of stenographers? Is it lack of proper assistance by the lawyers? Is it lack of proper coordination by the ministerial staff? All these things can be discussed in the panel by appointing court managers, even in the high court, constitutional courts. Forget about the district judiciary. In my view, you can reduce the potential district judges can be appointed elsewhere, so that they will turn out to a good number of the turnout of adjudication of the cases. If 6 judges who are super time scale are appointed in the 6 district courts or additional district judges, they can turn out per month not less than the 500 cases per month. By each one decide 100 cases. It is possible. In the Supreme Court, I used to, when I was the Constitutional Court, I'm not praising myself. It is possible, provided if you have got the clarity and understanding of the constitutional philosophy and the law and the common law, and if you have got good knowledge. I used to dictate miscellaneous first appeals per day, 18 to 20. Regular first appeal of the civil disputes, I used to dispose of more than 7 to 10. Even in respect of criminal appeals, we used to hear and dispose of per week, not less than 7 to 8. Criminal appeals, sessions matter, murder cases, etc. Rape and all other things, they are the rate of 10 appeals I used to dispose of. Even in the Supreme Court, civil and criminal appeals, I used to dispose of 3 to 4 matters per day on a non-miscellaneous day. So it is possible. So for that, we have to train. We must prepare our judges in that capacity in building must be made by the Judicial Academy, and our judges must also even interest, and they must read, they must make them to understand the constitutional philosophy, etc., etc. So my point is that the court managers is must, and there is already this aspect is acknowledged by the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has repeatedly, constitutional benches have held the judicial review is the basic structure of the Constitution. Administration of justice is part of the sovereign function of the, including the quasi-judicial functions like tribunals. It is the sovereign function of the state. If it is sovereign function of the state to give effect to the human rights to the citizens and non-citizens who are litigants before the various courts, speedy justice must be the first priority for the Indian judiciary. In this direction, my appeal to all the Chief Justices of the various high courts and Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and the Chief Ministers must have a meeting. They must be apprised about this. The budget allocation is very, very minimal. This is not even 1%. There's nothing to do with that. Nothing can happen. You must, if you say the rendering justice is the basic structure of the Constitution that has been held by the Supreme Court. If you do not want to delay to the cause, if you want adjudication within a short period, justice must be rendered to the people of the country, socio-economic and political justice. You must give top priority for appointing population ratio judges, providing infrastructure, stenographers, ministerial staff, judges' bungalows, computers, the seminars to train both the lawyers. We must engage all the National Law School, University, and other university people. I may tell you my experience that third year and fourth year students, when I was the Illegal Service Authority chairperson, I used to ask them, I used to draft them to create legal awareness and to work for the Legal Service Authority to render assistance to the women, the laborers, the illiterate people to have access to justice. Without paying anything to the students, they will learn. Therefore, it is the court managers can draft them. So the number of periodically, batch by batch, you can draft them, and they can also learn. In that process, file process can be made, files can be stitched properly, index can be made, judgments can be given. They can formulate the point. What is the finding which is there in this case? They can render that much of assistance to a judge. It is very easy for the judge to come to the conclusion that what is there in this case for rendering speedy justice in a very court. This will help. This can be done only to the court managers because the judges are overworking. They don't have time to even talk to their family members and their children. That is why I am of the firm view. The court managers must be on top priority. The state government must give effect to the order of the Supreme Court and judgment Supreme Court and the constitutional mandate, the rendering justice, the top priority. I hope and trust that this seminar will throw light on all the concerned, particularly the professors, the academicians, the conducting this kind of the debate. It must percolate to the political executives, and it should be the public opinion must be built up, and then the census, it must be brought to the census of the political executives, and then definitely it will yield the result. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. These are my tentative, the views broadly, whatever occurred to me as a judge, as a lawyer, as a legal authority person who did a lot of service to the people of this country. These are my views. This is my impression. I strongly advocate for regularizing the court managers and appointment of the court managers. They are part of the infrastructure. Thank you. I must once again thank the university for having thought of conducting this webinar, which is very, very important in the interest of the public at large. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Gowda sir. You built up the great platform. You shared your experience from bottom to top, right, to Supreme Court, what you experienced and what you implemented. Now I request Roshan ma'am to throw some light on the past and